What up, Stim? Hopefully this works. I'm gonna have to change the focus on the camera. We're trying something a little different. ADD's kind of kicked in a little bit. I was editing the video and I just kept looking over at Fulgrim and I kept being like, oh, I wonder what that looks like. And then I noticed I was just like, oh, let me put the lilac on this piece of armor. Oh, let me check out this. I'm like, God, why am I not streaming any of this? So, ship deck. Okay, that's a little weird. Guessing the source isn't properly set. Give me a second. There you go. I wonder if I can zoom out a little. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, I keep looking at them and I'm like, oh man, let me try stuff. So things I've tried. We've done fluorescent green on the gems. Added the teeth. Did a little lilac on the crossover here to try to differentiate this armor piece from the others. We also decided that the feathering edges will be blue, including on his little shoulder pad here, and I'm guessing on the back as well. I am not waiting for the 40K model, no. This model is so good. He looks so good. So nice, man. This thing is crazy looking. We worked on him a bit today. And see if that persists. The 40K one looks too much like a Screamer Killer. Let me see if I can see that actually. Let me try to pull that up for you guys. Because I can't unsee it. I love that none of the pictures go to where I want them to go. So I'm like trapped in a loop. Yeah, there we go. I can't unsee it. I feel like the same person made Fulgrim, right? Like, I feel like he's got that one wheelhouse of leaning forward, forearms out to the sides. It's just trapped in my head. He looks fine. I think the armor is gonna be cool. They're gonna do some stuff to make it like a little more, I don't know, like a little more grandiose. Absolutely. But like the angles, the shape you get, like the movement up at an angle with this guy, it just feels more dynamic to me than screaming at the camera, right? Like that's all I'm getting from the new model. It's just like, let me yell at this camera real quick. I mean, the friggin' Horus Heresy model is everywhere because it is $275. This was a wild purchase for me. Nah, I couldn't. I was editing and I kept turning around. Like I painted the face on. I did the green stuff. I did the changes to the colors and the feathers. I kept doing something and I was like, why am I not just streaming this? I tested a little bit of the Reikland flesh shade on the wings to try to push it a little closer to flesh tone. I'm liking it. I'm liking it so far. Tried a little bit of the pink on the hands. That way we can test out some of the skin toning. Only some magenta. Not a lot of magenta. Actually, okay, to be real, the only magenta on him is the light magenta on his wings. The rest is just pink. Just straight up pink. We do need to do a little bit on the back here. I'm going to work this up a bit. Again, this is kind of supposed to be the common approach I'm going to take with the rest of the Emperor's Children. Of course, some of it's going to be a little bit more standardized and simplified. Drakari kid? What? Drakari are certainly not for children, sir. But awesome. You gonna get some Drakari put together? I like the generalization of Drakari. Like their styles and kind of how they try to represent themselves. Because they're basically just Slaanesh elves. Let's be real. They're just Slaanesh elves. And they gotta do it, lest they lose their own souls. I don't know about meth. I mean, I feel like Drakari are all uppers, right? Like, they're basically just freaking going crazy on pre-workout. Call me. Just taking a whole bottle of caffeine pills. Should probably work on some flesh toning. Maybe. I feel like there's still a lot of like gold I could work on. So much gold on this guy. Like seriously, as I'm painting it, all I'm thinking is, man, you really had to take from my 1,000 suns, didn't you? Get your own style. But that's what they're all about, man. Pumping that. Making their heart go crazy. It's that good stuff. In the freaking Mad Max universe, Half-Life boys are basically just Slanesh worshippers. Honestly. Right, let's get some of the gems flat. Move this microphone a little bit. I mean, the Drakari are basically every scene from every movie where someone just hard ODs on an upper of some kind and then gets hit with the adrenaline spike. Just that sudden jolt of, ah! Do we try it? Try to get the rest of these gemstones preset. Still trying to figure out what color I want to make these blades. Because, like, in the image, they're silver. But so much of their physicality makes them feel like living things. So, like, I don't know. Because, like, there's an eye right there. That's an eyeball. Maybe we give them color. Because I always love colorful demons. Just making them silver is kind of like a cop-out to me, right? So maybe we pick like some blues or some greens. Try to get some more flesh tone stuff done. Oh, also, I actually ate some food. So I feel a whole lot better than 6 hours of not eating while streaming this. So much better right now. I feel more focused. There's someone at the local store looking to play a game of Kill Team, but like he wants to play late. Like he wants to get there like a couple hours before the store closes and play a full game. I can't do that. I really want to play, but like not that bad. There's like way too big of a crowd at this store right now who's all about showing up an hour or two before closing and trying to get in like a 2K, 40K game or a whole game of Kill Team. And it's like, dude, please. Please. You know not what you do. I do like some of the color choices the Games Workshop painter that painted the new Fulgrim did. That's why I actually switched the feathers to blue. I mean, I own the table. It's just like, I've got my own tables here. I can do it. It's just, I don't know, man. Everyone only seems to have time. And God, it sucks so much. Because every time I talk to them about like, oh, where do you come from to get here? And it's always like way further north than the store. And I have to travel north to get to it. It's like, oh, so there's probably 0 chance you're gonna, you know, want to go further than that to play a game. Okay. Think a black blade with green highlights? Maybe. He's got 2 swords and a spear. We can kind of play around with it, right? I can maybe make one in a similar fashion to how I made my Abaddon's blade. Just a simple blend of blue up to pink. Jesus Christ, he is bright. And maybe we could do a... Oh, what if we did black core, but then make it look like the outer edge is glowing different colors? Like one would be green, maybe like a green to a blue shift. One might be like a red to a purple shift. And then the other could be like, I don't know, we'll figure it out, maybe. You got a bunch of options. Why not try some fun stuff? I think we might shade some of his armor with Druchii purple, the Druchii violet. just to give it some depth. Oh, you're talking about when you say warpstone, are you referencing like a visual aesthetic, or are you referencing almost like waystone? Like you would do a silver under a waystone to make it like a crystal? I've got 3 of these. We could do a full thing of silver under it and then hit it with this to try to make it look like a stone. The problem is I don't necessarily like that because of how we're doing the pink underlighting. Because I would technically only do this on like one side. I actually don't know how we're going to do these blades, because if we make them kind of like aesthetically interesting, I don't know. No, yeah, so like an interesting looking glowy rock, basically. Alright, alright. I will say I had Mystery Science Theater 3000 on my TV, and I was listening while getting work done. But now that we're doing this, I've muted it. Now I kind of miss it. I keep looking over. It's just on mute, sitting there. Let's do the bone color. Maybe. No, let's hunker down. Let's do the flesh toning. His flesh toning in particular. The weird pink to light magenta. Actually, we gotta do this gauntlet in gold. I keep forgetting to do it. Gemstones in white. It's an option. I need to weigh the visual aesthetic balance of what we're trying to achieve with this guy. Because there's a lot of dark in this mid area. The brightness is going to come from his flesh, like his wings, his face, his arms. There's going to be accent hits of fluorescent green coming from his gemstones. I may even push the gemstones further with some more like paint to try to actually make them look like a non-gemstone. I guess is the best way to put that, like a flat gem. just be like heated metal. Could do a gradient of red to orange and then go back in with black to sort of like pick out the midpoints. At least this blade. I feel like this blade could look good like that. Just a basic molten blade. Maybe a red to blue. Yeah, I'll probably do all three different. Definitely. I think that'll be the end goal. Genuinely hated cutting out each and every single one of these little teeth feather things. I'm painting them up kind of like feathers because I like the idea, but they're supposed to be more demon teeth. Holding my breath for long periods of time. Trying not to shake my hand too much. Just trying to get this gold down. Beautiful. Let's try this weapon first. Let me see how it kind of comes down here. So there's a part where I could turn it to like gold about here. That's what gemstone in the handle I just noticed. Like, the backing for it could be, like, bone color, the black bone stuff that I'm doing, if we want to go that route. Or it could just be more gold. But the blade itself... approach that. Let me see if I have fluorescent blue, because I thought I did, but it's empty because I left it open like an idiot. Huh. Actually, no, I got pale blue. What am I doing? Do we phthalo blue it? You get more vibrancy, saturation out of fluorescence, but I would need another one. I'm pretty sure I have one, like an extra one, because I bought like 3. I didn't think I had one for some reason. I don't know. I could have swore I had an extra. But I think we're going to do at least fluorescent red at some point in this process. At some point. That. Oh, I had phthalo blow. Huh. Oh, we'll probably want that for one of them. So here we go. I think we're gonna have to paint the entire blade right now in white, down to about where we would do the metal. It's not good to try to do a high saturation color from a dark spot. That is how you completely screw up the process. There. Grand question becomes, what do we do with the side that's got most of the pink? I think we actually just do it, right? We just hit the blade. I feel like I probably should have focused on making the top side more flat with like less of the underglow. Probably do that for future ones. Still a little sad that the method I found forever ago on how to hook LED lights up to these things doesn't seem to be around anymore. Like, the part vanished. The video that I had saved is gone too. And then the most recent one I looked at to try to figure it out was like, oh, you gotta destroy the base. Because the only battery holder that exists now is massive. And it's like, oh, okay. Let me ponder on whether I want to do that. I do want to light them. I bought all the LED lights. I'm super interested. But I don't know about putting that big of a battery housing on a base. The one I saw originally, the guy showed it and it fits perfectly underneath like a general base for one of these things. Like, it's no issue at all, it just fits. Super thin battery type. It's exactly what I wanted. And now I can't find it. So sad. Let that ride. You guys having good nights? I really wish I was able to focus on that higher tech video. I did pretty much most of the intro to it. So that feels kind of good. Making curry chicken again tomorrow. It's gonna be delicious. Looking forward to it. Do we... I think we start blue and then work to red. I think that's how we do this. Oh, God. All right, Adam. I need... If we don't get him done tonight, which I don't think we will, I need to push myself to not do him tomorrow and actually get other stuff done. mostly just to baseline it. Because then the idea is, from here, I have a deep violet, super close to black. And we just hit kind of like this middle section with. Extra at the bottom. Finish it up with some full-blown black. You might want to do a little bit more focused texturing with. Try to leave some of the purple in as a sort of shader. Yeah, I tried to edit a video. I got a little bit into it, but then I couldn't stop thinking about what I wanted to do with this model. So, ADHD kind of overwhelmed. And part of me wants to see how, like, later in the night streams do. Normally my midday streams barely do anything. Get like 5 people. Try to open it up to the night crowd. The degenerates. Well, what up with you, Andy? What you doing? I'm not saying I'm not a degen, Francois. Extra degenerate. That's what you are, Andy. Super degen. The almighty degen. Wear it like a badge of honor. Sitting here painting minis. Specifically minis of a character that represents a train of thought of hyper excess. Everything is drugs and sex with them. What up, Arturo? So, I mean, I'm kind of degening out here as well. Sean's people. Underlighting is always fun. Always fun. The trick is, I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to be able to actually light it from underneath, reinforcing the underlighting since it's fluorescent frickin' paint. And this fluorescent paint, when no one I know who paints in this area uses it, so no one's seen it in person. But this is the kind of fluorescent paint where you hit this with a flashlight or a black light, and it's basically like a flashlight in of itself. Like, it's crazy bright. I love it. But like, nobody in this area that paints uses it but me, so I'm the only one who's like, yeah, that's how it works. And they're like, sure it is, buddy. And I want to be in front of them when I press a button and the black lights that are underneath these things come on. And they just suddenly, like, are ridiculous. It's like, yeah, I am right. Haha. Enjoy the insanity. The only way to win is if your opponent can't see. Oh, hell yeah. Fluorescents are great anywhere you really need to, like, make something pop. They're so good. But yeah, I bought all these. I want jazz music. Also, I have used rock and metal in the past, and even though it is literally in the back end of YouTube, free to just use, no cost at all, I have been hit with DMCA. So, yeah, I have these. So the idea was we were going to build, like, some stones and stuff coming up, and then these would just be, like, kind of in them or something. But these are UV. And they already have the little capacitor right there that you need to have on these types of things. So it's all it's pre-done. I don't have to do anything with them. I watched a whole video where some guy was like, yeah, every single LED you buy, you have to get a capacitor. Nope, done. Don't even need to do that. I'm good. I kind of want to get Druchii Violet as well. But yeah, like, I got super excited, and then I couldn't find the actual, like, battery pack that I needed. Like, it's just not there anymore. And the video I saved for watch later isn't in my playlist anymore. So something happened. Now everyone and their mom's like, yeah, if you want to light your models up, you're gonna need to destroy them. It's like, oh, okay. Don't know how I'm feeling with that idea. With, you know, this guy. I think I might avoid that. I think we might not do any of that. Might choose to do other things. So now we're looking at a best case scenario. If there's a tank that I can get, like a Hellbrood or something that's specialized. Maybe that thing gets a bunch of black lights on it and just moves around the field, lighting everything up. 'Cause that I can do. That's not a problem. You can just use the inside of that. Make the head, like, click in to turn the black lights on. Be perfect. mean, you could probably 3D print like a pipe that goes around it that maybe has a back. And then it could actually be that. Just have the LED pop up. Just slowly glazing skin tone. Which one are you talking about? You're saying infantry squad and platoon leader. Are you talking about Imperial Guard? They're getting rid of it. There's gonna be no universal infantry squad anymore. You're gonna have to pick Catachin, Kasserkin. No. What is it? Krieg? Not Kasserkin. Mini Cass. You know, a Catachin. So yeah, you have to pick. Like, you're gonna have 3 different ones, and you can probably combine force. There's a person in our local Discord who's like, "Man, I'm gonna run 200 of each type because that's 2K points." Legitimate team. But yeah, Imperial Guard are getting a massive overhaul based on the Krieg release, which is basically going to be whichever... And I mean, at the end of the day, you could be like, you know what, I'm running all Krieg, and then it's all Catachin. Who cares? Yeah, Krieg, Cadian, Catachin. There it is. I lost the word Cadian because I don't care. I'm not a massive Cadia stan. Immediately canceled. But yeah, that's the new path they're taking. Cadia was basically like second Earth. Like another awesome human planet, everything awesome. Basically second Earth, got ripped in half. Completely destroyed. Chaos did it, just saying, you know, whatever. We're cool, we're cool. There's been a lot of shifts, though, and I'm not too sure about most of it. Like, supposedly Scions lost Deep Strike, but everyone's saying they're gonna have a way to get it back. Yeah, but I'm not. So technically, you're learning. I made you learn. Get this Reichland flush shade in there. Just to get a little tonal differences around the outer edges. Just know that if you're ever out in the wild and there's someone standing there with a Cadia Stans shirt on, my faction did that. LOL. But yeah, the recent trailers showed that I guess we're going back to Cadia. They're like on an asteroid that's floating in space. And something's happening. I don't know. Something. I don't know. I don't know why they would do this. I mean, I guess because that planet was like a fan favorite. But like, question is, what are they doing? I guess they might have found something. Are they going to try to like undo the rip in the warp to try to like rein in psychic power again? It all leads up to the nerf of the Thousand Suns. You lose half your psychic abilities. No. Look, the only thing I'm looking forward to is Ahriman in the Webway. That's it. That's all I want. Ahriman goes in Webway, looks for the Black Library. I'm here for it. Because there was a story not that long ago involved a Chaos Space Marine in the Webway that he like entered of his own will and volition. I was like, ooh, okay. Tell me more. Just working on the tonal differences. But even though it does seem cool, and I'm kind of happy for all the Acadian and Imperial Guard players who are like, ooh, new lore. It does reek a little bit of, hey, let's try to like keep the money train going. What's new? What's hot? What's cool? Oh, people are buying a lot of shirts that say Cadia stands on them. What if we brought Cadia back? It's like, okay. If they could do it for Superman, why can't we do it for a planet? We can rebuild it. Make it stronger, faster. Either way, could be cool. Always a fun time trying to figure out what the hell G-Dubs is trying to do. Because that is where madness lies. I know who you're saying, but you wrote that as the loin. So it's either a thing of meat, or the lion is from Boston. I'm the loin. The loin over here. Violet down. I need the armor to feel like it's got a little more depth than it does. Hey, it's the loin. Years of painting Thousand Suns prepared me for all the fun tricks of what you can do with gold trim. I mean, it's usually just girly man and a big old space elf goth mommy. So, I mean, it'd be good for a change of pace. Right? Dude, this is a community of socially inept nerds. Come on. They were 100% going to assume a Space Marine and a Space Elf were dating. Just as much as they're going to do the Sam and Dean Winchester approach for the Lion. It is 100% going to happen. I don't know if I want to do white for the fabric, because I do a lot of white for the fabric on my Thousand Suns. And it feels a little weird to do it over here as well. Maybe we do teal. I was thinking turquoise, but his scales are already kind of there. This other sword's gonna look like. I don't know if yellow works here. Almost everything on his body is some distance close to purple. The true standouts are green. The blues push it a little bit. What do they do? Quickly to the reference board. They do like black. Oh, I mean, I guess, yeah. Right? Because it's like black leather almost. We could work the dark purple that I have and then work it up to black. I feel like if I'm going to use yellow, though, it's got to be closer to, like, the small scale, like the green. Like, I might do it in the eyes that are here and on some of his weapons. Like, it's got to be accent, I almost feel like. Not like a full-blown, like, tassels and this stuff. I don't know. Oh, so he has a lot of gold on him. Gold kind of sits firmly in that yellow side of things. we're gonna get this trim done. And we'll ponder. Still love that it was a minor twist at his mid-waist for the snake tail. That was the difference between him actually being the shape he's supposed to be and me not being able to glue these like back things on. I was struggling so hard. I was like, why does this not want to work? Avatar of Cain. Once I got the equipment, pretty good. I screwed up a little bit in some spots because I put too much green stuff on it, when I probably honestly should have positioned it, glued it, and then did like a green stuff ring around it and then pushed it into the gaps. Like this wing right here, there's a lot of green stuff in there right now and over here, and it almost screwed me. Cause like I did it and then it wasn't lined up. Like the thing here that goes down like that wasn't lined up at all. I was losing my mind. Cause I had no idea why after all the effort I put in. No, let's not do that. After all the effort I put in, why it wouldn't connect properly. And then I was like, oh no. And I had to rip all the green stuff off of it and go back in and do other stuff. And like, it takes a minute because a lot of the green stuff bound pretty well right away. So like, I had to let it dry for a little bit. We had to rip it out with like hooks and stuff. It was crazy. Eventually, I put it on and it was fine. Let me grab this. But yeah, the pinning vise works really well. I'm actually super happy with it. Would recommend for anyone building large monsters like this. Especially freaking resin models. Especially resin models. Because the way they create joints for resin models just isn't good. But yeah, the key ones, the whole key to it was pin there, pin there, and then pins in each of his back components going to the wings. Those were the key ones. I did another pin as well on this back segment for the tail because I didn't want the tail to just like snap off. I also did one for this like ceramic-y whatever this is back here. But yeah, super easy. I saw it and I thought to myself, wow, this is why people really think that drilling barrels on guns is, you know, easy, because it was pretty easy. I'm still not gonna do it, but it was pretty easy. It's, you're not gonna make me do that. That's some psycho shit. pale yellow. It's always the Imperial Guard players that tell me to drill my barrels, and I look at their armies and it's all las guns that don't have barrels, like, drilled at all, and I'm like, no. Like, it's always the armies that don't need it, that are like, yo, you should do it. I see what you're trying to do to me. Trying to make me hate this game. I don't mind Imperial Guard fans. Just a few of them who are like, yo, you should drill your barrels. And like their tanks don't even have drilled barrels. I'm like, screw you, dude. Yes. No, I won't be doing that. So, if we do it with this fabric back here, I don't think we do it on the tassels. But if we do it with this fabric back here, it's a multi-layered thing, right? So there's the core fabric. There's this inlay, which leads to like here, which we might do in like gold. And then there's like a sub fabric, which you can almost do as like a separate fabric. And like that's the pale. That's probably where it will end up. You might start it as Zamasi. I do have Averland, but the problem with Averland... No, that's Flash Kits. The problem with Averland is it very much... Oh, we'll do that. Because Demonic's not that bright. Averland is a base, and you touch anything with that, it immediately becomes that color. Planet of the Base. It's very hard to blend. Like you can kind of water it down, but it's still like super obnoxious. So what we can do here... cool is we will eventually do all these like swirls and stuff. We can do it after the fact. That way we can at least go over it with the yellow and try to maintain some semblance. Love, it never die. Hello, is it you I am calling on phone? Are you the girl of love? Reminds me so much of old Base Hunter. If you thought there was no way someone could ever sing a song about being a moderator in an RSS chat, have I got news for you. Still love that whole song was just him driving around in a sports car while talking about it. Just occasionally opening up his laptop and banning people. Jesus Christ. They always make a board game for just like anything. It's got to be easy to license it for a board game, because I feel like if a board game company comes to any of these companies, it's like, yo, can we make that a board game? I feel like the average computer game company is like, yeah, we'll never do that ourselves. Let's license it out. It's not even the coolest thing that's ever happened in Stalker's history. You heard about the like week-long frickin' airsoft games, right? Is LARPing for guns? They actually drove out or bust all these people out to an area that was basically a freaking exclusion zone, like kind of in that general vicinity. And for a week, it was like, that was it. There were people who played military personnel, people who played bandits. Gun marking. There were a ton of games that got board game variants recently. 'Cause board games are getting pretty big. Mostly due to COVID. And since a lot of companies and people usually run with watching spiking numbers and go like, oh, we should do something there. This is doing really well. We do this later. There's gems on these. You messing with people, Andy? What up, JB? Okay, the most boring wedding ever that you've been to. Guarantee you there's probably worse. But I mean, that's good. If you're a schwalcoholic, did you at least get crunk? Last wedding I went to was actually not that long ago. A buddy of mine was the designated driver for my absolute drunkard friends. I just remember we were like, God, it was just after the ceremony. We were 20 minutes into the after party. And I remember we were all kind of like standing around. And one of us was missing. I was like, hey, where'd that guy go? We looked around for a bit. Standing, there was like this hallway that had like a mini bar with a bartender. And he was just like standing there staring at the bartender. Just like smiling, slightly hunched over, but in like an S shape. Like, this is how you know when my one buddy is like absolutely wasted. Is when his stomach's forward, but his back is like actually back, but then hunched down with his head like 90 degree. And he's just smiling at this guy. It was so stupid. Oh, nice. Nice and smooth yellow. So smooth, so crisp. I remember being at the after party. One of my other absolutely wasted friends was spending way too much time and energy trying to get someone to think that he eats people. Like, way too much effort into trying to get this absolutely random person. It was pretty great. Casandara yellow. The best way to make any yellow look very weathered. Just hit the whole thing with it and then go back in. good to paint. Always good. Realizing I completely skipped over this detail. Got another wedding though coming up, I think next month. I have to figure out that one. Get the timing down. All my stupid friends wanting to celebrate togetherness in front of me. God. No, the last couple I've won have involved people. The 40K ones I still can't win. I still get a little antsy. Get to a situation where I just really want to roll dice. My problem is if I really want to like actually seriously play 40K, I gotta start putting a lot more in on it. In terms of game time, time for me to like break down everything that like happened and any of the test games, things I can adjust or think about, change. Ways to think about enemy teams, how to crack them open, knowing which targets are best to be seen, knowing which ones I need to really like avoid contact with, and how. You can dance to classical music. People used to dance back then too. I don't know, I hate dancing. At all my cousins' weddings, it always ends up where the and then the DJ knows. The DJ looks around the room and goes, "This is a bunch of white people." So he chucks on a line dance song. You watch a bunch of white people stand up, get in a line, and, you know, do some really slow steps. Votan looked fun. Had I waited to start collecting back when I was getting back into it, there's a high chance I would have been like, oh, Votan. let's get the flesh face masks done. How do we do them? Where do we start? I think we start with... Where's my Kislev flesh? I'm going to start with like a magenta or a dark pink. Do I already have familiar pink out? I thought I had Emperor's Children. Yeah, it's Emperor's Children. Dude, it happens every time. My one cousin's wedding at his parents' house, the after party. Like the whole start of it was just like the person playing just general tunes, like things that people knew, because they were all sitting eating. So it's like, yeah, he's got that. It's exactly what you want. You don't want something that comes on where you're like, oh, let me get up and dance. I'm eating. No. No, chill. The moment everyone finished their dinners, it was immediately just like... Probably the most white-friendly song I know. Soulja Boy. With Crank That. 'Cause, I mean, it's basically line dancing rap. That's what it is. There's a dance associated with it. It's fantastic. I'm running out of projects outside of videos. I really should have been editing a video right now. I really wanted to work on this. Dude, that song comes on and you see a whole room full of people like, oh, this is it. This is my jam. All right. Okay. Are you gonna make noodles? Making fresh noodles for ramen? Nice. You know they sell those in the shops, right? Sometimes it's cool to know how to do it. I actually have a book on it, if I'm not mistaken. I bought a whole ass book on how to do like char-siu and all that. Flash faces. We're gonna need that. We made curry from scratch once at my buddy's house. Like, he had to stir the roux and everything. Never again. Curry I make is in a slow cooker, 4 chicken breasts, a bunch of chopped up vegetables, 4 of the stuff from the golden curry bricks, some chicken stock, 3 hours high or 6 hours low, or medium technically. That stuff, so delicious. And it's great because you don't even really have to try. Set it and forget it. Either that or I can do something very similar with pad thai. Pretty good. Friggin' lime juice and crazy amounts of peanuts. I think next on my list of stuff to make food for is probably like a sesame noodle. Oh, thanks, Arturo. try to get another sword done, maybe. Is there a gemstone there? There is. So that's done, so we can preempt the gemstones on the back. I think I gotta change musical page. Oh no, we're good. Oh yeah, he is quite crazy. It's coming along too, which is nice. Super happy about it. Now all they gotta do is release the new one, and it'll be on a much larger base with a much larger model, and I'll be really sad. Until I realize it's probably gonna be sold in the battle box with the rest of the army as one of 2 options you can purchase. And then I'll be like, oh, I guess I'll just paint him again. Round 2. Fight. Alright, let's get this sword done, maybe. The bottom one. Let me do the spear first. We can just tear through the spear. Crazy? Right? Because 40k is 32, right? I mean, it's almost unnecessary. It looks cool. So, it depends. Okay, it depends. It depends. It depends on the scale. Because the whole point about this scale is this model is pretty easy to make. Well, air quotes. This model's pretty easy to make, at least comparatively. And the whole point of it is when you see like the other models around it, this feels incredible. Whereas if all models are like that, what happens with these? Or do you not have these? If you don't have these, then that's probably not an issue. Then the larger models feel better because maybe there's more importance to them. Ah, classic joke, Andy. I mean, I've spent nowhere close to that, and I'm pretty much done until these guys come out. And then it'll probably be like 2,000. I feel like it's going to be 2,000 to build like a decent team. Although they're probably... I don't know if I'm going to try to full collect. I might just do like a one-off. So we'll see what we can pull off. And the way it works out, and Games Workshop has kind of researched this to try to figure out economically what to keep doing. For the average new player, once a year has gone by, they're done. Specifically buying things. They're playing a lot, but they're done buying stuff. They're really not going to spend too much more money past that first year. We're going to get one team down, or one facet of the game down. So, okay. What you are describing to me is 40k Inquisition. But 40k Inquisition was like 4 people. I remember that game. I remember watching people play it. Like that, the old 40k Inquisition game mode really required you to have way too much like stuff. Like the average model was like this size as friggin' like guard, like an Imperial Guard was like this big, and every element of that character on the field was supposed to play into what they actually had. So I met a person who was heavy into playing Inquisition, and all of his characters had so much green stuff. This guy was like ahead of his time for how to build miniatures. Like he already had all the knowledge that is finally being disseminated through YouTube for a lot of people, where he had like the base model and then he dremeled and made magnets flush to the model itself, and then he would build green stuff components to then paint later. So it's like, oh well, my character has satchels now, so let me pick my satchels up and snap them on. And like that's how he built all of his models for this game, so that while the game progressed and his characters changed what they were carrying and what they were going to bring to missions, he could physically change how they looked. And he was like, yeah, I love this game. And it's like, oh, that's pretty cool, but I'm over here playing 40k and I don't know if I really want to buy a giant guardsman alongside like 4 giant Inquisitor models. I think I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And then that game died out. So, but yeah, I remember that one. I could see it. It just depends on how you set it up. I mean, at that point, it's all just the format. There was a game at Too Many Games, a convention I went to for my other YouTube channel stuff that I work with. And I was doing a tournament there. And next to the tournament was a demo for a like a spaceship battle game, and you only ever really got like 1 or 2 spaceships depending on your faction and points and all that. But the spaceships were all designed, printed in colored plastic, so you didn't have to paint anything to have it look pretty cool. Pretty pog. And they were all magnetized. Every single piece had magnets in it, so you could just snap things on and off. And you were supposed to get like a core ship. It was kind of like old BattleTech, where it was like, all right, well, this has this much power. I can put that into these systems. Let me attach these things. And then the stuff you attach actually changed the size of your ship, so it also changed like maneuverability and where you could get hit from and all this. It was pretty cool. And it was literally just like 1 or 2 ships, and you had giant cards. That was like one of the big things. You just had giant cards, and you would just mix and match the cards based on what stuff you wanted on your ship. Just go from there. It was alright. They were playing on a huge table, though. That's the part where I'm like, He had like 3 tables pushed together to play. And it's like, dude, I'm playing a 2,000 point game of Warhammer 40k on 2 tables. You're playing with 2 models on 3 tables. I don't know if that's a good thing. So you have to kind of factor in that kind of stuff too. If this stuff is scaled up, is the playmat scaled up as well, or are there other advantages? Because you have to always strike that balance between what can people achieve easily in their own home and what could be really cool at large scale. Because I've got some, I've seen some crazy stuff. One of the guys at the local store ran a, what was it? Necromunda campaign. And he himself was building a thing for that terrain. He built like a 4-story multi-catwalked, capable of being pulled apart and have pieces exchanged for rubble. Because the whole point of this fight was that the whole area could be collapsing while you're playing. So you're using all the different stairs and everything to get up to places, and then dice gets rolled to see if like the 4th floor caves in. And then everyone up there takes X damage, and it's like almost unstoppable unless you have special abilities to avoid too much damage from collapsing and stuff. Then you take all that stuff off, replace it with rubble, and then you'll be rolling for the later zones in the following turns. There's places to get pushed off of and knocked off of because the bottom floor isn't even like complete. There's actual areas where it's like, yeah, that's a hole. You get pushed into there, you're falling 1,000 feet. You're dead. Yeah, so this would be like an STL game. Those can be kind of cool. I've always wondered, though, about them. Because, like, I feel like a lot of it's good faith, I guess, with people. To be like, oh, well, at least purchase the STL from us. Or if you're going to resell it, maybe, you know, send us some money for sales. Like a little bit. Like $1 or $2, maybe. I don't know. Because War Machine tried to push that way, and now they're out of business. Now they sold to another company. And I was actually kind of interested. Like, I was done my 1,000 Suns. I had a ton of Knights. And I was like, well, I can either make a different team, or I can look into another different format that I remember from my youth. And I did play a little bit of War Machine. I think the music's done. Let me swap. So I was looking into it. I saw everyone was mad at it. It was a little sad. I mean, I get why they were mad. There was validity to their anger. And then Privateer Press wasn't exactly doing much to try to regain their trust. Just constant negativity after negativity. The clincher was the faction I had originally played, the Cricks, was gone. They just got rid of my frickin' faction completely. They were like, nah, we're done with them. It's over. We don't want to do Cricks anymore. It's like, okay. What do I do then? I had all that Cricks, like I had leftover Cricks in like my closet just hanging out. And I couldn't use them anymore for anything. It was just done. They were like, yeah, we're also releasing all new models, so you can't use the old stuff anymore. It's like, oh no. A few months later, sold to another company. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, passion projects are one thing. But like with a little organization, a passion project could literally be a really good source of income. There was a game that I think is still around and still kind of kicking. I'm trying to remember what it was called. It's one where they give you like a bunch of little robot parts, and over the course of a campaign, you kind of like take parts from enemies, and you can attach them to your character. It's like a co-op campaign or a PvP function. It's all kind of built. It's like Ratchet or something. Like, it's a big box, and I remember seeing it in a store and being like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And I found out that that was a passion project from a friend of ours, or from someone, a buddy of mine at college knew, rather. And like, he was putting it together, and then he had kind of a business plan on how to release it, where it was at least like potential for money, and yeah, it worked out really well for him. So that's kind of cool. So like on one hand, definitely figure it out, but on the other, don't lose sight of possibility. Let's use this. I'll let the white dry a bit and then maybe think. Because even if it's for a short time, you never know if you're sitting on like the next God, what the hell was that game? Cards Against Humanity. I mean, you're probably not, because Cards Against Humanity, the big benefit of it is it's only cards, meaning it's super easy to pick up, put down. It is hyper casual. And that's what people want in their living rooms. But who knows? Could though. 20 times 2K. prep I probably have to do tomorrow. No. There's a ton of conventions, though. Adepticon's definitely the big one, but you can always find other conventions. The PAX, maybe. PAX Unplugged, especially. And that's already come and gone, but you could try to plan for the next one. PAX Unplugged's a good one. There's also tons of small ones. The one that I said, Too Many Games, that I went to, they have one section which is mostly video games, specifically retro, a lot of the times, a lot of trading and stuff like that. But then they've been trying heavily to expand to the point where tabletop is becoming a bigger thing to them. The way that the convention center they use works is it's usually like 3 or 4 giant warehouses, and you can, as an individual group, rent like one warehouse that comes with like a side room, like a big side room, and like it's just all different like gridded rooms you can rent in that situation. And in recent years they went from doing 1 to 2 to now they basically just rent the whole entire area. And one entire one of these warehouses is exclusively tabletop now. So they're trying to push it a little bit. I wouldn't say it's like, oh, I'm going to go there and people from major companies are going to see my... No. It's more for just like selling to people who might be interested and just having fun because it's near Philly. Like you could do some fun stuff in Philly. It's not that big of a deal. Let's get like little short truce. We can do short truce into what? Short truce into no. I should have actual magenta. My word bearer red, not at all where it's supposed to be. See, that's the thing. Depending on who has access to running an event, you could run an event. And I get that there's like a struggle to that, because I mean, I don't know how to do it. I kind of want to, though. There's actually a bunch of big centers near me, because I live near a college. that just don't get used. Because, like, why? Let's do purple at the end. 2 short truce, I think. I do think it would be really cool for me to one day just be like, hey, how much is this? And then put the feelers out there. The problem is, I guess, reserving the date. Like, how much does it cost? Is it full up front, or can I do, like, maybe like a half and half? I don't know. Oh, that's weird. Believe me, Steel, it gives me a panic attack every time as well. I'm trying so hard not to, like, freak out. Because if you freak out while doing this, then that's how it breaks. Fun story about me and my friend group. We found Bam Margera's parents' house and we destroyed their mailbox when we were kids. Weddings are always weird places for me. Because it is like a gathering of people, and I hate that. But at the same time, like, just generally weird stuff happens there. Remember our one buddy who, like, had a kid with someone and then got married to them across country, came back to have, like, the after party, like, locally for people who knew him. We're just sitting there at a table with, like, all the elderly family members from, like, his family, because we were just the friend group that he invited. How do you know him? We're just telling him. We were like, screw it, let's go in. Telling him stories about all the crap we did when we were kids. Told him how we tricked him into thinking that stop signs that have white borders are suggestions, not law. Like, actually a thing. We told him, and he was like, oh, cool. And that was like 2 years of his life. It's just running stop signs. By the end of it, they were like, God, he's an idiot. Yep. Indeed. You're gonna kill your kid. I'm just gonna say that right now. Out of nowhere, the song just becomes a 007 opening. What, building and painting? So we did 7 hours earlier, 3 hours right now. Before that, I think it was 3 hours for initial stuff, for like basic part removal and cleaning. So we're at 13 so far. And the thing is, once we get him done, that's not done, right? I'm not doing his base. We're not touching his base until they release the information as to, like, whether or not it's important for a specific type of base. If out of nowhere they're like, oh, by the way, that was a weird angle we took the picture at, it's actually an oval base. It's like, oh, you assholes. Making me have a turn radius. I gotta pay the turn tax. We're gonna wait on the basing. And basing will probably take me 1 to 2 hours, depending. It might even take longer if I eventually figure out an alternative way to do the lighting. 'Cause I don't like the way that I've seen for lighting. I want to try something different. Definitely feel like I'm going to be putting more time into him than I did on Magnus. I probably would have put more into Magnus had I put him together like later. He was one of my first models I did for my Thousand Suns because I got him so early. There was a holiday box, the Court of the Crimson King. And this was back when Thousand Suns sucked. They sucked so much. No one wanted to play them. And Games Workshop was like, who wants Magnus? Anyone, please? And all the resellers kind of knew that no one was going to buy it. So if you went on any like the specialty side sites in the US, like Warpfire or something, it was so cheap. I got it for like $100. Oh, dude, they were so bad. There was one guy who figured them out. Like, it was a crazy moment. I remember watching the tournament that he was in, and every single time any of the announcers brought up that he was, you know, going to the next round, it was always like, how is this possible? No one stopped this Thousand Suns player. We have to talk to him. We have to figure out exactly what he's doing to completely devastate people. Cause like, so in 9th, similar to how 10th has mission cards, you got to like pick an overarching mission for your team to run if you wanted, and it wasn't really like seasonal. There were some seasonal ones, but there were like some standard ones that everyone had access to, and they were pretty consistent. And there was one that was literally, hey, does your opponent have casters? Pick this. Every sorcerer you kill is like a ton of points. So it was near impossible for a Thousand Suns player to really get anywhere, because like if you lost any sorcerers, it was over. Like, you couldn't catch up and score anymore. So there was like a misery there. But what this guy did was he figured out how to siege warfare. Most of his focus was on having like a bunch of small rubric squads, because he wanted as many Cabal points as possible. And back then, the rubrics would give Cabal points, and then they would give extra Cabal points with Icons of Flame. So you would take like a ton of 5-man squads with an Icon of Flame. That was like the whole trick. And he had just, I think he had like 20 or 30 Cabal points. You could just do whatever the hell he wanted. The big trick was, back then they weren't as hard as they are right now on like spells and stuff from different factions working between each other. There was a demon, a Chariot of Flame that he would run. No, it wasn't it was a Fate Skimmer. He'd run a Fate Skimmer. He took a demon ability called Chaos Gate, and Chaos Gate was the one that rippled from person to person in an area. The reason he took it was because he could take the Assassinate mission, and if he took the Assassinate mission, he had this this fun little effect where he could ripple effect in an area where a champion was, because you couldn't target champions with range, but you would target the squad next to the champion so that the damage would ripple to the champion. So that would happen. And then you would pay Cabal points for Echo and the Warp, which let you cast a spell that was already cast on the field, which meant a Rubric Marine or a Sorcerer could cast that same demon spell. So you would cast that, you would ripple effect. Once it hit the commander, or whatever the assassination target is, you would then spend more Cabal points. Those Cabal points would increase the damage. He was basically one-tapping any commander that he wanted every turn. Like, he would just fly a disc up, use the spell, and then teleport that disc out after using it. Like, there was so many crazy things he was pulling off where he was like, yeah, this just all works. And everyone was like, oh, shit. He lost in the last round by, I think, 1 point. Lost by 1 point. It was because the person he was fighting was using the anti-magic thing. And he basically had him, but then, like, a really good roll near the end killed one of his sorcerers, which gave the guy enough points. Because all he needed to do was kill, like, 2 sorcerers to catch back up to all the points the other guy was scoring. It's so sad. We're going to work these up a little more tomorrow. We're going to do, like, jagged white lines across the black, which we're going to hit with the... Probably not tomorrow, probably Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, we need to like soup this up a little bit, I think. We're gonna get like a really thin brush and we're just gonna do like cross lines on it. And then go back in with the colors, work from there. Same thing here, probably. Just a little marbling. So far, so good, though. I'm okay with the yellow. It seems a little weird still, but we're okay with it. Let me get these gems painted. At least baseline. I'm still debating whether or not I'm gonna render them a little bit more. I might. Fun. Let me give you guys a little reward for hanging out as long as you have. As a night stream. Give it a second before you go to bed. In. Yeah. What do I turn off? We'll turn off these. It's gonna get real dark. This is why I really want to get the black lights installed in the base, so that this just happens, like, on table. I want this to happen. Because you can still kind of see it, even with the lights on. Like, lights on almost improves it a little bit. gems glow. It's just really nice. So yeah. It's even crazier with the stuff I'm going to be applying to it when the basing's ready. This is mica powder. This stuff, like, it's that. That's what it looks like. This stuff is so bright. But yeah, fluorescence, baby. I love it. That one. They're so fun. And then, of course, on my hand. But yeah, we need to work the weapons up a lot, I think. The weapons drastically need improvement. I'm not super happy with where they are, so we'll deal with it. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for swinging through on the late stream. If you see me streaming tomorrow, that's something I shouldn't be doing. Maybe talk me out of it, because I do really want to work on this video. And that'll probably be for tomorrow. I gotta take some chicken out. That's what I gotta do. Oh, chicken curry. So delicious. Till next time, guys.